Welcome back to Pastry Maestra. I'm Teresa and today I'm making strawberry and white chocolate tarts. Today I'm making quite an elaborate dessert, so I will shorten my usual signature educational intro. In fact, I'll skip it altogether. List of things we need to do is quite long, so I'll get to it right away. First we'll make almond pastry tart shell and then beautiful moist almond sponge cake. After that we'll mix some white chocolate and lemon ganache, make strawberry jelly, white chocolate mousse and finally white chocolate glaze. Phew. Pretty tall order, I agree. But don't worry, I'll explain every step in detail, so just watch my video carefully. I'm sure you will do wonderfully. Okay, let's get to work and make some delish strawberry and white chocolate tarts. As usual, the recipe is on my site and the link is down below. To make short crust pastry, I've placed sifted flour into a large bowl. I'll add sifted almond flour, powdered sugar and vanilla powder and stir with a whisk. Then I'll add cold butter cut in cubes and rub the dry ingredients into the butter with my fingertips until I get crumbly mixture. Now I'll add egg yolks and make the dough. I will wrap it in plastic foil and put it in the fridge for about 1 hour. I've placed one piece of parchment paper onto my counter and now I will put 1/2 of the dough onto it. First I will press it with my fingers to flatten it a bit. Then I'll put another piece of parchment paper onto the dough and press it to stick to it. I will roll out the dough to 3 mm, which is 1/8 of an inch thickness, using my adjustable rolling pin. I'm rolling from the center towards one end, at the same time holding the opposite side of the paper with my hand so the paper doesn't slide or wrinkle. I will put everything in the freezer for about 20 minutes to chill. I will repeat the procedure with remaining pastry. I'm using stainless steel, round 7 cm, which is 2.7 inches in diameter, perforated tart rings. The circumference of my tart rings is about 23 cm, which is 9 inches. My pastry is chilled, and first I will cut 6 approximately 4 cm, which is about 1.5 inches wide strips for the size of my tarts, using my pizza wheel. I will put the pastry in the fridge. Then I'll cut out discs for the bottom of my tarts. My discs are about 5 mm, which is 1/4 of an inch smaller than the diameter of the tart rings. I've put my tart ring onto a perforated silicone mat. First I will line the sides of my tart with pastry strip. I will remove the excess pastry and gently press it into the sides of the mold. Then I'll carefully insert the pastry disc into the mold and smooth the interior with my finger. I will remove the excess pastry from the sides of the tart using a small knife and then put everything in the fridge for about 20 minutes. Before baking, I will dock the bottom of my tarts with a fork. Then I'll bake them at 170 degrees centigrade, which is 340 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 10 minutes. My tarts are done and now I will brush their interior with egg wash. I'll put them back in the oven for another 2 minutes and then I will leave them to cool down. To make almond sponge cake, first I have to make French meringue. I will put room temperature egg whites into the bowl of a stand mixer fitted with whisk attachment and whisk on medium speed. When the soft peaks form, I'll gradually add sugar and continue whisking until all the sugar is dissolved and the meringue becomes nice and glossy. I will add egg yolks and lemon zest and stir with a silicone spatula to combine. Then I'll add almond flour and fold it into the mixture. I will pour the mixture onto a paper-lined baking tray and spread it with spatula to 5 mm, which is about 1/4 inch thickness. Then I will bake it at 180 degrees centigrade, which is 350 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 10 minutes. When my cake cools down, I will cut out 5 centimeters, which is 2 inches in diameter discs. I will pipe some strawberry jam on the bottom of my tart. Then I will put 1 almond cake disc onto the jam, making sure it is perfectly leveled. To make white chocolate and lemon ganache, I will put lemon zest into the cream and stir well with a whisk. I will heat up this mixture in the microwave. Then I'll cover it with cling film and leave it for about 30 minutes to infuse. I've melted my white chocolate in the microwave on low heat, and now I'll strain the cream into the melted chocolate. I will stir well with a whisk until the ganache becomes uniform. I've put my ganache into a piping bag without tip, and now I will pipe it onto my cake until I fill the tart all the way to the top. I will put my tart in the fridge until the ganache sets completely. To make strawberry jelly, I'll soak gelatin in cold water. As soon as my gelatin softens, I'll take it out and squeeze to get rid of the excess water. I've put strawberry puree into a bowl. I'll add sugar and stir with a whisk. I will heat up this mixture in the microwave. My puree is hot. I'll add soaked gelatin and stir until it melts. I've transferred my mixture into a piping bag without tip, and now I will pipe it into 2.5 centimeters, which is 1 inch in diameter half-sphere silicone molds. Then I will put the mold in the freezer until the jelly sets. To make white chocolate mousse, I will soak gelatin in cold water. As soon as my gelatin softens, I will take it out and squeeze to get rid of the excess water. I've heated milk in the microwave, and now I'll add soaked gelatin and stir until it melts. I've melted my white chocolate in the microwave on low heat, and now I'll add milk and gelatin mixture into the chocolate and stir well with a whisk. I will whisk the cream in a stand mixer fitted with whisk attachment until soft peaks form. My white chocolate and milk mixture is lukewarm, and now I will add it into cream whipped to soft peaks. I'll stir with a silicone spatula until the mixture becomes uniform. I've put my mousse into a piping bag without tip, and now I will fill my silicone molds with it. I will put my mousse in the fridge for a couple of minutes until it starts to set. I will insert 1 strawberry jelly half sphere in the center of each mousse. Then I will put everything in the freezer until it sets completely. To make white chocolate glaze, I will soak gelatin in cold water. As soon as my gelatin softens, I will take it out and squeeze to get rid of the excess water. I've heated cream in the microwave, and now I'll add soaked gelatin and stir until it melts. I've melted my white chocolate in the microwave on low heat, and now I'll gradually add cream and gelatin mixture into the chocolate. I'll stir with a silicone spatula to combine. Then I will add water and vegetable oil and stir again. I've transferred my glaze into a measuring cup, and now I'll blend it with immersion blender to emulsify. Then I will leave it at room temperature until it cools down to about 30 to 32 degrees centigrade, which is 86 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. My glaze is at 30 degrees centigrade, which is 86 degrees Fahrenheit, and now I will glaze my mousse and put it carefully onto my tart. I will decorate the edges with some chopped blanched almonds. Finally, I'll place one strawberry on the top. There, my delicious strawberry and white chocolate tarts are done. Enjoy!
Oh baby, you are so sweet, so delicious and yummy, so good to eat. I wanna lick you, feel your sweetness on my lips. Forever and ever, you'll stay on my hips.
I'm Teresa. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you liked it. If you want to stay in touch, follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and of course, visit my site where you can find elaborate posts with lots of pictures, additional information and recipes that follow my every video. Also, on my site you can download my free 365 pages ebook, The Pastry Chef, and maybe buy me a macaron if you think that I've earned it. Now, before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That really helps a lot. Finally, and this is the most important thing, don't forget to create sweetness every day, because sweetness is happiness. See you in my next video. Bye!